raise your right hand, grab your thumb, repeat after me. The primates are distinguished by their opposing thumb. Grab your elbow. Repeat after me. Us Homo sapiens are distinguished by opposing reality. I track, the human brain is defective. How many agree with me that the normal, healthy human mind is defective? Okay, there's several, a minority that are correct, the rest of you are wrong. So the human mind exaggerates threats and it exaggerates power. So we love, from birth, we love Santa Claus, Jesus, Obama, law and order. You know, the cops are really intelligent, you know. I mean, people watch 5 shows a night about how intelligent cops are. And so we exaggerate power. We thought that someone who who really had trouble with English could lead the war on terror, George W. Bush, you know. So we exaggerated someone who had trouble with English, he could save the world, you know. We also exaggerate fear. So how do I deal with my mind that's always exaggerating threats and exaggerating, power? So I use cognitive behavior therapy, and it's been computerized, so it's more and more fun. And there's a lot of science and FDA and years of widespread countrywide use. So 7 countries' healthcare systems. As you know, most civilized Western civilizations have healthcare, except for this one. There's 7 countries that have this computerized cognitive behavior therapy. How many people have heard the word cognitive behavior therapy? Okay, so basically I'm willing to bet that nobody knows that it's been computerized. And one of the versions that was computerized in Australia at a research university is free on the web. So if you Google these 7 letters, Mood Gym, you will be treated in about 6 hours of anxiety, depression, eating disorders. Over 30 years of research, the list goes on and on. So it includes insomnia and a more recent discovery that it treats resilience. So how many people know the compound required for more endurance? It's water, right? Since there's nobody that can make money off water, no one knows that that's the cure, that's the treatment for endurance. Likewise, there's this free cure out there, and nobody that's on Mood Gym in this Australian website. So what does this have to do with metrics and measuring myself? So the point of metrics is that on a normal day, a normal happy day, my mind might be just exaggerating reality, exaggerating threats, and exaggerating power just a little bit. And it's so small that I won't be able to catch it unless I measure it. So one of the metrics I use is about 40 years old. All the scientists, it's a standard science metric for anxiety, depression. It's called the Beck Depression Inventory. And it's 30 questions, and you have 5 categories, a lot, not at all, for 30 questions. And you can pinpoint anxiety, depression, relationship satisfaction. Is anyone interested in this?
Yes.
Like, and there's one for measuring narcissism. And I heard that they took it out of, there's a thing called who doesn't know the DSM-4? So there's this how to measure people's mental problems called the DSM-4, the scientists use, right? And they took out narcissism because everybody has it. That's last year, they took it out because everyone has it. So you're going to probably run into people who have narcissism, like politicians, used car salesmen, and attorneys, right? And one of the questions when you're shopping for an attorney might be, could you please take this 40-question test so I can determine what your narcissism is. And I've never gotten an attorney to answer one of those questions, so I think it's because they're too narcissistic. So, what I do, I came up with some videos here, and we're ready for sound. Yes. So let me just run these videos. One of these is a metric. One of the things that I'm really interested in measuring is anger. No one admits they have anger, but it's the reason that Fox News has eaten our lunch, as far as at least someone's laughing here. So you have this guy, Rush Limbaugh and Rove and Fox News just pumping out anger and fear-mongering, and they've just got these Republicans by the nose. You're looking at the polls, they're just as popular as Obama. So they want to stop healthcare, and so the point is that we'll
leave that right there, so you don't have much time to go ahead.
It's increasing.
It goes to 7. It's a 5.
Oh, it's increasing. Okay, got 2 minutes left. So just for fun, let's play a movie. So here's a metric of anger that you'll recognize from. This is from the time of Christ. This is actually in Rome, and this is in the Colosseum where they're about to have gladiator fights. And our main character, who's constantly being help me out with the word. He's mistaken. He's constantly been mistaken for Jesus. He ends up taking this job selling popcorn. And he wants to fight the oppressors, the imperialist oppressors, the Romans.
I hate the Romans as much as anybody.
Are you sure?
Oh, dead sure. I hate the Romans already. Listen, if you want to join a PMJ, you'd have to really hate the Romans. I do! Oh yeah, how much? A lot.
So that's the metric right there. So you can see it was a very crude metric. How much do you hate the Romans? A lot. So it's very hard to measure some things. And for instance, and the causality of things might be confusing too. What comes first, motivation or action? Most people answer, well, you've got to be motivated before you act, right? So motivation comes first. Well, psychologists find the opposite. Action comes first. And if you say, well, how am I going to act without motivation? Well, how many have taken yoga and after the rest period, they say, start wiggling your toes and your fingers, and your hands, and your arms. So you can start with really small motions. And so I track the time disappeared. There was a timer there, and it's gone.
Yeah, that's my phone. Sorry, I was just setting it
So,
up.
have I confused you enough for question period? It's question time.
Yeah, sure. It's exactly 7 minutes. So, questions, guys. Thanks, Jeff.
Stand still.
So I have a question. I'll jump
What
in.
would happen if he could ride a beam of light?
This is Einstein measuring a beam of light.
Nothing, for he never.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So my question is, so in terms of quantification, what have you been doing? What have you quantified?
If you could drive at 90% of the speed of light, the effects become you would shrink to
I quantify a lot of things because my master list,
and here, fine. But if you could drive at 90%,
my master list, I have, like, for instance, I have a wake-up routine, and it's grown to about 60 items. So the smallest thing on there is take a piss. But I think taking a piss can be significant because how many people, I wanted to ask, how many people wake up in the middle of the night to piss almost every night? Just the gray hairs, right? Oh boy, aren't we lucky? So what wakes us up? The subconscious. That's the only thing that's happening because the conscious is asleep, right? So the subconscious is waking us up, and if we don't wake up, it shakes harder and it tries to make us wake up, right? So the research on cognitive behavior therapy is one of the techniques to deal with anxiety is to put it off to a certain time of day. Well, if I have to wake up in the middle of the night to take a piss and my subconscious is waking me up, well, that's an opportunity for the subconscious. Does this answer your question? So I have a recorder by my bed, and how many people write computer programs in their dreams? Just me. A few. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, there's about 4. Yeah. So us 4. So I come up with actual solutions to life and programs and things in my dreams, record them, and then sort of enter them in the morning. Did that answer your question at all?
Yes, my question was, what do you quantify? So other than, so what do you measure?
So I take these recordings at night of my fear or solutions to my problems. I wake up, I transcribe them, they go onto my to-do list, and then I prioritize them, and then I check them off. When I check them off, it's one click. It goes to a done list that's sorted by date, and it's date and time stamped. So I don't know how many minutes I have left, but I have a, could you plug this in?
Did you try to improve the metric for anger?
I can talk to you about that. It's pretty complicated. There's a Novato Anger scale to find out if you're an angry person, but not if you're angry right now.
What was the acronym again? The site we're talking about?
Mood Gym, 7 letters. Gym as in gymnasium, G-Y-M. Mood Gym.
Okay, mood.
Yeah, so here's what I did last year. So you can see this little row here this is the date and this is the time. And how many think this is obsessive? But yeah. Okay, but this is a year, and you do a lot of shit in a year, you know. And if you want to feel like, God, what did I do last year? And you look at this, and you go, God, I did a lot last year. And so I have this when I wake up, and there's this 60 things on my to-do list that are things like piss, eat, exercise, take a bath, brush your teeth, you know. So I just bam. So I could check off 40 things, just write down the list, bam, you know. And it makes me feel like, hey, oh, the colors. Well, let me switch to, those are categories, that's not too important. This is much more important. When I'm tracking, so when I wake up in the morning and I write down my upsetting thoughts, I write down the upsetting thoughts in black here. You can't see the colors here, but there's black, green, black, green. So every day I write down the upsetting thoughts, and then cognitive behavior therapy it's like a written argument. You have a little debate. Each thought, you try to kill it with a new and more rational thought. How many people know this already? Nobody. Okay. So you can see a few blotches of red here. That took actual real life action. So if something's upsetting me and there's no way to be happy about it unless I do something, then it goes onto my master to-do list and gets checked off and appears here. One of the colors here, one last comment?
Yeah.
One of the things to measure that humans, there's a book about science of happiness, and it turns out that humans don't know what makes them happy. How many people have believed this? How many people believe this? Yeah, a lot of people. So it turns out that because my brain's always exaggerating threats, I say, well, I want to do something, but I think all of these things will go wrong. And so it won't give me any pleasure at all. So I put 0 as a predicted pleasure. Then after I do it, I measure the pleasure again, and it turns out to be 60, 70, 80. Okay? So I'm constantly predicting all of these bad things happening, which is good because you want to know what the threats are, you want to know what the risks are. And the way the human mind is evolved to recognize these is to exaggerate them so they can be seen and wake you up and kick you from pissing your pants in the middle of the night.